The CenterPoint ACH payment option can be used from either the CenterPoint payment screen or from Pay Invoices Due. Let's first go to Payments. Over from my quick list, I'm going to select Payments. And when you do a payment using ACH, the entry of the payment is done the same as normal. We're going to select a vendor that's been set up as ACH, and to check that of what we have to set up to make it an ACH vendor, we're going to edit this vendor, and you'll want to check the ACH payment tab. This box is checked as activate ACH transactions, and then you want to fill in their bank information. And that's what indicates that this is an ACH vendor. And when we select an ACH vendor, the print icon at the bottom automatically displays the ACH print option. We could click that button and we could switch at this point to not use ACH but print a check, but it will default to add to the ACH file. Now we're going to go ahead and fill out this screen with some information of what we want to pay to the vendor. So we're just going to do some office supplies here and say that this is for printer supplies. All right, and so now at this point we're ready to save it. When we save it, nothing is going to print at this time. It's simply going to be added to our ACH file, waiting to be processed at a later time when we decide that we're going to go ahead and direct those that fund transfer. So we're going to save this and close our screen. And now let's go do a payment from Pay Invoices Due. So we're going to click on our quick list again under Pay Invoices Due and select our bank account up at the top. And we already have a vendor here that that I added, and this particular vendor is also assigned as an ACH, and it's listing this open invoice. Actually, the entering the vendor invoice, there's no changes at all for doing an ACH. The ACH doesn't come into play at entering the vendor invoice. It's at the time of paying it. But what we will want to do is up at the top in our filters, in order to make an ACH payment from Pay Invoices Due, we need to select this new filter option to include ACH vendors only. So in this drop-down, we can pick either to not see any no ACH vendors included, which now took that vendor away because it is an ACH, include ACH vendors only, or include invoices from all vendors. By selecting the option Include ACH Vendors Only, it changed our print icon to the ACH option, which again we can click on and switch to just printing a check if we want to, but we're going to leave this at Add to ACH File. But we can only do payments that are all for ACH vendors when we're selecting to make this payment using the ACH option. So at this point, we're ready to save and post this. We're going to, I guess we need to check to pay that. And now we can post this transaction. And at whatever point we decide we want to do that transfer to the bank, then we are going to go up to Processes, ACH File, and Create ACH File. And at this point, we have our two transactions holding there, ready to be paid. And that will be the next video you'll want to see, is the ACH processing of creating the ACH file.